You know, there's a pretty nice coffee place on my way back home. Are you asking him out on a date? Oh my goodness! Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to Red Embrace. So we are going to be starting the final route of this game, and that is for Luka. He is actually a bonus route because when the game originally came out, he was never a route. So I don't know what to expect for him, but we'll find out. Anyway, sorry Rex, we're going to follow Luka now. Well, Luka may be a brat, but at least he seems pretty normal. If I hurry, I can catch up to him and ask why he knows about this crazy vampire stuff. Nice meeting you! Have a nice day now! That's right, because Luka's also a human, so I wonder if he has any, like, powers? Kind of like Isaac. Isaac has powers because he drinks, or did he say he drinks or he lets, Bishop bite him? I don't remember. Anyway, regardless, he gets powers from Bishop. I don't know if Luka gets anything, because he works for Isaac. Throwing a nervous grin at Rex, I turn and bolt in Luka's direction as fast as I can. Luckily, the kid's only lazily jogging along, so I reach his side in a few moments. You? Why are you following me? He throws me a suspicious glare when I start running up by his side. Well, believe it or not, I'm having a pretty hard time dealing with the fact that vampires are real. I was hoping you could shed some light on things for me, since you're human and fairly sane. Luka slows his pace some, his eyes flickering hesitantly away from me. I think he was chasing after Isaac, but the other man's already long gone. Why'd you want to know about vampires? I just got attacked by one for fuck's sakes. I had no idea they even existed before. If they're crawling around everywhere, I like to know so I don't get chopped on my way home one night. My frustrated response makes Luka blink in surprise. I don't know why he'd be surprised. Isn't this pretty normal reaction to learning about fantasy monsters that are real? Slowly, Luka comes to a stop, turning around to face me. He looks a bit reluctant, but his face soon twists up into a determined frown. Fine, let's go back to the diner. Back to the diner? When I repeat his words curiously, Luka gives me a long, impatient sigh. That's what I said, wasn't it? I really want a soda right now. And I guess I'll tell you about vampires, since you seem like the type of guy who won't give up. He raises an eyebrow expectantly, waiting for me to lead us back to the diner. This kid, I swear. Isn't he only like a few years younger than Connor? Oh my god. That's the price for your information, huh? Could be worse. Let's go then. I pick my way through the alleys and return to the main road, relying on my inner compass. The streets of San Fran are messy as hell, but you get used to them after a while. You sure, Isaac's gonna be alright? As we walk along, I glance over at Luka, who just shrugs carelessly. Isaac can take care of himself. He does stupid shit all the time and never gets hurt. He's been dealing with vampires for ages, too. Isaac's not afraid of them. Luka scowls darkly, his eyes narrowing. He sounds a little pissed off. Is he jealous of Isaac or angry at him? I can't tell. If I remember what Isaac said to us in his route, he said that Luka doesn't like him. Because, like, Isaac's like an asshole, so yeah, I'm not surprised that he's not really, like, caring that if he's okay or not. When we get back to the diner, I flip the lights on with a relieved sigh. Luka makes a beeline for the bar and hops on the stool, resting his head on the counter with a yawn. Yeah, just make yourself at home. What kind of sugary carbonated beverage tickles your fancy today? Can you cut it out already? Just bring me a regular Coke. Snickering at Luka's sour response, I fill up a glass with a fizzy liquid and slide it in front of him. He grabs a straw from the nearby counter, a container, and slurps down half of the drink in a few seconds. Damn, you were really thirsty, weren't you? Or do you just like sweet soda that much? I do. Yeah, got a problem with that? Luka raises an eyebrow at me aggressively, shifting in his seat. I live with Isaac, and he won't let me buy sugary stuff because it's bad for me. That guy thinks he's my dad or something. Well, he's not wrong. You don't get to keep that fast metabolism forever. That is true. When you get older, sometimes you get fat. Nothing that's wrong with that. Just like you have to watch your health. You know? You can't just drink soda all the time, Luka. Yeah, so I might as well eat all the sweets and fatty stuff I want right now. Makes sense, doesn't it? Luka's frown melts away from a moment, and he lets out a little giggle. It's kind of cute when he's not making angry faces. So, the vampires, can you explain more about them to me? I'm still sort of in shock. I could barely believe my eyes back there. When I question Luka more gently, he nods, his face growing serious again. Long story short, they're straight out of a horror movie, basically. Can't walk in sunlight, need to drink blood, live forever. Most of them hide in big cities, where they don't stand out as much. But they're everywhere. We just don't notice them. He pauses, biting the end of his straw thoughtfully. He narrows his eyes a little. Here in San Fran, there are two big clans, the Helgen and the Siri. They hate each other's guts, even though they're a part of the same coven. Coven? You mean there's a larger group? All the city's vampires are ruled by a guy named Bishop. He's really old and powerful, or so they say. Luka wrinkles his nose in distaste, obviously not too fond of whoever this Bishop is. Yes, because he is, an asshole. Come to think of it, he really seems to hate vampires in general. How do you know so much about these guys? Are you and Isaac working with them or something? Ha! Isaac is just trying to make a profit. He sells them information and weapons, which both clans use to kill each other. I help him out, yeah, but not for money. His voice trails off in a low mumble, and he swirls around and eyes a nearly empty glass with a sigh. It doesn't take a genius to tell this sort of subject for him. Maybe I should pry? Why do you hate vampires? Or what about a refill? Anything else worth telling? I mean, I want to know, but like, I don't know if like he would end up hating Connor for it. Would he say it though? You know what I mean? Or should I be like, hey, you want some more drinks? Coke? Then he'll do it? Or should I be direct? I don't know. Isaac likes being direct. I feel like Luka doesn't, so I'm gonna give him a refill. For some reason, Luka's dark mood makes me want to cheer him up. He's an annoying kid, sure, but I'd rather see him smiling than pouting. It suits him better. Want a refill? You're pretty low there. Luka blinks up at me. Offering him a wink, I grab a glass and take it over to the soda fountain, splashing in a few different flavors. Are you going to charge me for this? Of course not, it's on the house. Although, a sudden evil urge comes over me, and I smirk at Luka while placing the glass in front of him. I'll take a different form of pavement, if you like. When I lean over the counter towards him with a sly grin, Luka's face immediately turns bright red. Pervert! I'm not gonna drink that! It's hard not to love how comical flustered he gets. Snickering to myself, I shake my head, figuring I should probably return to the main subject. After all, if I use him too much, he might just turn the tail and run out of the diner. You know, I'm surprised that Connor's acting like this, you know what I mean? Because, like, it makes sense for, like, Isaac to do like that. Like, oh, why didn't you sleep with me? Or stuff like that. When Connor says it's just like, oh god. Well, is there anything else I need to know to stay safe from the vampires? Should I stock up on garlic? Maybe buy one of those tacky cross necklaces? Don't be an idiot. That stuff only works in the movies. Luka rolls his eyes at me, but a faint smile grows on his lips. I say get a gun, but you don't look like you can handle one. So what's my alternative? Relying on you, my knight in shining armor, to protect me? Luka huffs quietly, but for a moment he actually looks a little hurt. Oops. So you're saying I'm screwed then? No way to defend myself? Well, the blonde hesitates, letting out a small sigh, his eyes flickering to one side. He looks like he's thinking pretty hard. Since Isaac's the one who got you involved in this mess, I do kind of feel sorry for you. If you want, we can make a deal. A deal? When I question him curiously, Luka nods. Remember when I asked you to keep an eye out for vampires who come in here? Keep doing that, and tell me all about the ones you see. And in exchange? I'll stick around on your way home at night. Most of the coven knows me as Isaac's assistant, so they don't bother me. Am I hearing things right? Is he actually offering to protect me? If you don't want to, then you don't have to. I don't care. It's your life, not mine. It doesn't matter to me. Deal. My confident reply makes Luka's eyes go wide. Was he expecting me to say no? I wonder. It's a win-win for me, isn't it? I just do my normal routine at the diner, and then I get to be escorted home by my shining knight. I have a name, you know. Start using it. Grumbling quietly, Luka jumps off the bar stool and steps away from the counter. His voice is sulking as usual, but oddly enough, he looks a little happy. Fine then, Luka. You better show up here tomorrow night. Do I look like the type of guy who to break a promise? Yes. Wow, screw you too, piece of sh. With a snort, Luka turns on his heel and heads to the door, shaking his head. I watch him leave, a grin spreading over my lips before I realize it. I really shouldn't be smiling considering the dangerous world I've yanked into. But when Luka gets all huffy and tries to act like a aloof cat, it's hard to keep a straight face. I really didn't expect Luka's like personality to be like that. I really expected him to be more mean. You know what I mean? Like more rude and be like more uptight. He's not that uptight. Closing up the diner for a second time tonight, I head home quickly, avoiding the alley where I was attacked by Rex. The streets are empty, but the silence makes me more nervous than anything. I can't shake the strange feeling that I'm being watched. None of the people who came in here seemed like they were vampires, but then again, I never guessed Dominic was one either. At this rate, I'm gonna go paranoid and end up committed in somewhere, seriously. Hey, diner guy, I'm here to get you. What? A familiar voice makes me sharply turn towards the door. Oh, Luka! When the hell did he come in? Are you ready? I don't have all night. You sure you don't want to drink first? Have you gotten your sugar fix today? Keep talking like that, I'm going to leave, just watch. Right. With an oddly excited feeling, I grab my keys and hurry over to Luka by the door. Still can't believe he really came, but I'm kinda glad he did. We step aside together and the cool night breeze brushes over my face. Luka sticks by my side and I start to head towards my apartment, staying fairly close even on the wide sidewalk. So, did you see anyone? See anyone? Oh, right. He wants to know if there were any vampires in the diner. It didn't seem like the crowd was any different tonight, though. Sorry, no dice. Didn't even see anyone with sharp teeth. Luka exhales a quiet, disappointed sigh, obviously not too pleased. Why is he so invested in this, I wonder? Is there a reason why you asked me to watch for vampires? If you're working with Isaac, it can't be that hard to find them yourself, can it? Frowning, Luka turns his head towards me, his eyes narrowing in suspicion. Uh-oh, is he going to snap at me again? This guy really has a hair-triggering temper, doesn't he? Why do you care? It doesn't affect our deal, right? His voice isn't sulking normal. Instead, he sounds a little hesitant, almost defensive. I'm just curious. I deserve to know. It's more about you than the deal. Well, we can't say that now, can we? I'm just curious. I was just curious, that's all. It seems important to you, so I'd like to know. I won't tease you about it, promise. I reach out to gently ruffle Luka's hair, and to my surprise, he doesn't duck away. Really? You were curious about me? Yeah, weird, huh? I guess I can't help myself. I thought you weren't going to tease me. That one doesn't count, sorry. Luka rolls his eyes, but he smirks faintly for a few moments. Then his expression grows more serious again and lets out a quiet sigh. I'm looking for someone. I haven't been able to find them on my own, so I thought I'd ask you, since you seem smart enough. And vampires like attractive humans, so there's a chance that they would try to talk to you. Oh, you're saying Connor's attractive! Luka's voice grows quieter and quieter as his cheeks turn pink. Wait. Did you just call me attractive? Listen, I'm not a giant pervert like you. I'm just saying it from a scientific perspective. Of course, silly me. I had no idea you were using me as a lab rat, but if you got any more experiments planned, count me in. I can't hold back my gleeful laughter as Luka glares daggers at me. Oh man, this guy's something else, seriously. Come on, let's keep going. Unless you got nothing better to do than be a dick to me, that is. No, not really. We reach my apartment a few minutes later, without any unwanted encounters, much to my surprise. I guess Luka really wasn't kidding about the vampires leaving him alone, who would have thought? Well, this is it. Already? When I stop in front of the stairs, Luka blinks, his face falling for a moment. But he soon recovers after, offering me a stuffed nod. Are you sure you'll be able to get back safely too? Yeah, don't worry about me. He seems pretty hesitant to say goodbye, so I flash him a winning smile and 2-finger salute. Tomorrow night then? Don't stand me up! I won't. A deal's a deal. Night, Connor. Night, Luka. And with that, I watch a small figure wander off into the distance, finally vanishing around the corner. The more time we spend together, the more different he seems from my first impression of him. Maybe he's still a brat, but in an endearing way, I guess. I head up to my apartment and collapse onto the bed, not quite as tired as usual. As I close my eyes and let the sleep finally crawl its way over me, I dimly smile. A deal's a deal. Yeah, so it is. The next week passed by pretty uneventful. It wasn't long until I settled into the new routine with Luka. Every night he'd show up at the diner, right on time. I got used to him being around that. My days off felt a little lonely, with no blonde brat to keep me company. I held up the end of my deal, of course, taking note of every potential vampire I saw wandering into the diner and gave Luka the rundown. But none of my reports had been provoked a reaction. He seemed a little gloomy, even frustrated every time I finished. I was curious, but it really wasn't any of my business. Or so I tried to convince myself at least. We never had much contact outside of our nightly ritual, save for a few texts here and there. Until today, that is. Why? What's happening? Hello? Halfway into the afternoon, I pick up an unexpected call from Luka's number. Hey, Connor, you busy? You call drawing smutty sketches busy. Why? What's up? I was wondering if you do me a favor. Weird as it is, I'm actually a lot safer at night than I am during the day. Thugs aren't as nocturnal as vampires. I need to go into a kind of seedy part of town to pick up something up, so he trails off, clearing his throat hesitantly. Are you asking me to come with you? Yeah, I guess so. No need to be shy about it, I don't mind. Who's shy? I just didn't want to sound, rude or anything. Like that's being a big concern for you in the past. Anyway, meet me outside my apartment in 15, assuming you can find your way here in the daytime. Yeah, I'll be right over. He quickly hangs up, trying too hard to sound annoyed. Kid could have chosen anyone else to escort him, like Isaac, but he called me. I don't think Isaac would do it, because he'd be like, you can do it yourself. I think a call girl's lingerie is less transparent than you are, Luka. What kind of comparison is that? Stirring to myself, I finished my project before heading downstairs. Sure enough, less than a minute later, a fluffy head of blonde hair appears in the distance. Can't help but think that he looks a little angelic in the daytime. His boyish feature lit up in the warm rays. Wow, you look even worse under the sun than a fluorescent lights. I guess it doesn't go both ways. You really think so? Could have sworn you called me attractive the other night. I think you're mistaking me for someone else. Huh, don't think so. How can I mistake my protector for someone else? Pretty easily, He's always blushing, oh my god. As we stroll down the street together, I notice that the atmosphere feels a little different than normal. Sort of awkward and self-conscious, like two people meeting for a blind date. But I do my best to ignore it, keeping it up a cheerful and slightly one-sided conversation instead. We reach a dingy little shop after a half an hour, and Luka runs inside for a few minutes. When he comes back out, I expect him to scamper off, leaving me to fend for myself. Hey, there's a pretty nice coffee place on my way back home. Are you asking him out on a date? Oh my goodness! But instead, he offers me a shy smile, running his fingers through his ponytail. I'm probably gonna stop in there, and if you don't have anything else to do, then... Well, they have a buy one, get one 50% off special sometimes. Wait, was this a plan from the start? Did he really drag me all the way out here just so he can nonchalantly ask me on a date? Holy hell, he really sucks at this! What are you grinning about? Did I say something funny? No, I was just excited about cheap coffee. You're gonna let me have one, right? I think I deserve at least that much. I guess, since you're pulling an arm and everything. Not the exact phrasing I'd use myself, but I'll take it. And so we began our impromptu date, slightly soured by the questionable coffee, but Luka's company makes up for it. He starts to relax during the second cup, smiling and giggling at every other thing I say. He's pretty clearly enjoying himself, so I have to admit the same. By the time we finished chatting about everything from B-movies to webcomics, had a few refills, it's already time for my ship, and time flew by somehow. We go our separate ways, and while I wander towards the diner, humming faintly to myself. I just realized how attached I'm getting to this little blonde, horrible dating skills and all. And those guys were the only ones I saw tonight. Right. A few nights later, I deliver my report to Luka as we make our way down the alley. Like usual, he goes quiet for a little while, mulling over something to himself. Honestly, I don't think I can contain my curiosity any longer. I don't want to pry into his business, but, well, now that we're getting close, I'm starting to worry a little about him. Hey, Luka? Yeah? About my reports, I wanted to ask you something. Why are we what? What? I bite my tongue before I can finish. At the end of the narrow street, a small group of figures suddenly come into my view. Ooh, that's bad. By the time I realize that they're there, it's too late to turn away. They've already seen us, I'm sure. Luka notices them too, because he stops beside me with a tense expression. Shit. Vampires are regular thugs. This could be bad. Luka, should we... Oh! It's Isaac! One of the figures steps closer. My eyes widen in surprise. Isaac? What is he doing here? Wow, what a coincidence! I was just wondering where you scampered off to, Luka. And you're an arm in arm with Kona, no less. What an unlikely couple. We're not a couple, Isaac. Luka fidgets beside me, scowling at Isaac. Oh? Well, if you say so, it's not like you're just wandering around with a friend, though. That aside, I've got work for you to do. Let's head back to the apartment. I was just closing up a deal here. Throwing an uncertain glance, Luka bites his lower lip hesitantly. It's fine, I'm almost back home anyway. I nudged his shoulder encouragingly, and he nods, despite looking a little reluctant. He really must be taking this whole protecting me business seriously. No, he just likes you, Connor. Either that or he's a masochist for my teasing. The car's out on the main street, Luka. Go on, I'll be there in a second. Yeah, I'm going. Luka shoves his hand in his pocket and stalks towards the street, throwing a brief glance over his shoulder at me. I wave at him with a lighthearted wink, and he quickly turns away. Pfft. As for you, Connor, there's something I'd like to tell you. Huh? Me? Isaac abruptly steps closer. I blink in surprise. Luka has you looking for vampires, doesn't he? He does. Yeah? Didn't he tell you? Isaac lets out a dry chuckle and shaking his head. He's got his own agenda. I've tried to warn him to stop, but he won't listen to me. Stop? Stop what? My question makes me pause for a moment, and he pushes up his glasses with a slight worried sigh. He's getting too obsessed with finding a particular vampire. If Luka gets any clue as to the guy's whereabouts, I know he'll do something stupid. Hot-headed kid he is. Well, it's hard to argue with that one. In fact, I was thinking something similar myself. What can Luka even do against a creature with supernatural powers like Rex or Dominic? Let me put it this way. All you have to do is give Luka false information either by making up descriptions or saying you didn't see any vampires at all. In fact, it will keep both of you safer. You want me to lie to him? Isaac nods. A peculiar sharp lighting glints behind his glasses. Trust me on this, Connor. I've known him for a lot longer than you. This obsession of his won't lead into anything good. It's blinding him, keeping him from seeing what really matters. And if you know what's good for him, you shouldn't get involved in it either. When he puts it like that, it's hard to argue. But how can I lie to Luka's face? We don't even know, who he's looking for, so I can't even make a judgment yet. If he found out, I can only imagine how he'd react. He'd probably hate me forever. I never lied to Luka. Would it really keep him safe? I'll decide for myself. How about I'll decide for myself? Thank you, Isaac, for your concern, but, I'll decide what to do when I find out what he's after. Until then, I won't promise anything. A very logical viewpoint, I suppose. He purses his lips, looking faintly annoyed, but also a little amused. Following my advice would be more logical, but I can tell you've already made up your mind. Just keep that rational head on your shoulders when it comes to the time to choose, and I'm sure you'll be fine. Probably. For a brief moment, Isaac studies my face closely, peering straight into my eyes. But just as his intense gaze starts to get uncomfortable, he lets out a light chuckle, shaking his head. Well, that's enough lecturing for today, I think. Isaac steps back then, and a cheerful smile curls on his lips once more. Just a few friendly words of wisdom. Now it's about time for me to get back to the car. Come around to the apartment sometime, I'll make a pot of renowned coffee for you. Yeah, sure, as long as your coffee isn't oily as you are. How rude. Don't provoke me, or I might just slip something in your mug. What does that mean? After flashing a roguish grin, Isaac turns around and strides off. The figures he was dealing with have already gone off somewhere, leaving me alone in the alleyway. Okay guys, I'm gonna end this episode of Red Embrace right here, so that was kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about Luka. He's cute, but his personality is more he's mean but timid at the same time. It's really weird to explain. He's tsundere, but not so mean, if you get what I mean. I figured he'd be a lot ruder to Connor, but he's really not, so I don't really know what to think. And also adding the fact that I don't even know why he's looking for this vampire. At least with the other roots, we had a clue as to what they were doing, but Luka, I have no idea what he's doing. So I hope we'll find out really soon. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, let me know in the comments what you think, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you know when I upload the next episode of Red Embrace. And thank you once again to Argent Games for giving me a game key to play this. I hope Luka's route will be a good one because this is the finale of this game, so hopefully it'll be good. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! Whoa! Who the hell are you? Sorry. Sorry, sir. Okay! Alright! Oh, that's a CG. I know I have to still blur it, but that's a CG. Okay. Her arms wrap around.